Green argues this isn't about being mean, it's about survival.
And the law kicks off with this just incredibly blunt statement. Now, let's be super clear here. Green is not speaking in metaphors. He's saying that misery isn't just some abstract feeling. Nope, he sees it as an active force, a real contagion that can jump from one person to another and, if you're not careful, completely destroy you.
Okay, so how does this actually work? What are the mechanics here? Well, Green calls it emotional contagion. Think of it like this invisible danger, something we tend to brush off, but, as he warns, we ignore it at our own risk.
So here's the absolute core of it. Green wants you to imagine that deep, chronic unhappiness is just as infectious as the flu. It's a virus. And our first instinct, our good human instinct, is to rush in and help the person who's struggling. But Green throws up a huge red flag. He says, you think you're saving a drowning man, but what's really happening is you're just getting pulled down into the water with that.
And psychologically, this makes a lot of sense, right? We're all basically emotional sponges. We just can't help but soak up the moods, the attitudes, even the ways of thinking of the people we spend the most time with. Now, that's not a character flaw. It's just how we're wired as humans. The real danger, the thing we have to watch out for, is when we're not paying attention to who we're letting into our inner circle.
Okay, so this all might sound a bit abstract. To make it terrifyingly real, Green gives us this incredible historical example. Let's talk about a woman named Lola Montez. Her story is basically the perfect, and I mean perfect, cautionary tale for this law.
So picture this. It's the 1840s. An Irish-born woman named Marie Gilbert looks in the mirror and thinks, you know what, this name just isn't going to cut it. So she completely reinvents herself. Poof! She's now Lola Montez, a mysterious, fiery Spanish dancer. And she doesn't just arrive in Paris, she takes the city by storm.
It doesn't take long for her to catch the eye of a man named Alexander Dujarier. This guy has it all. He's a successful newspaper owner, his future is incredibly bright, he's absolutely captivated by her. And this is where the infection takes hold. It's almost immediate. The second he gets close to her, his life just starts to unravel.
See, Lola's entire world is just chaos. Constant drama, constant fights, and poor Dujarier gets sucked right into her vortex. He ends up in a totally pointless dispute, supposedly defending her honor, gets goaded into a duel, and he's killed. And just like that, poof, his entire promising future gone.
So you'd think this tragedy might give her pause, right? Not a chance. She just moves on. She's like a hurricane of chaos, leaving a trail of destruction behind her. And her next conquest, even bigger. She becomes the mistress of King Ludwig of Bavaria. Now the infection isn't just about one person, it's about to take down an entire kingdom.
And her influence is pure poison to the court. Her nonstop demands, her scandalous behavior, it actually sparks riots in the streets. Things get so bad, the pressure is so intense, that King Ludwig is forced to give up his throne. He loses absolutely everything and eventually dies in exile. And you can trace it all back to the chaos she brought into his life.
Wow. I mean, the story of Lola Montez is wild, right? It's so dramatic. But here's the chilling part. Green insists that these infectors are everywhere. So the real question is, how do you spot one in your own life before it's too late? Let's get practical and break down the warning signs.
Okay, the single most important thing here is to look for patterns. These people aren't just unlucky. They seem to actively create their own misfortune with bad choices and destructive habits. So what do you look for? A past that's just full of turbulence, job after job, one broken relationship after another. They often have this really intense personality that might seem exciting at first, but you'll find it becomes draining fast. And here's the big one, the major tell. They are always the victim in their own story. Nothing is ever their fault.
Now, Lola Montez is the loud, dramatic, in-your-face type of infector. She's easy to spot. But what if the infection is way more subtle?
Green actually breaks it down into two main types. First, you've got the overwhelmer. That's your Lola Montez. They're like a human tornado, and their personality is so forceful it just sweeps you up in all their drama. But then there's the other type, the insidious. This one is way sneakier. Think of them as a slow-acting poison. It's not about big, loud chaos. It's about a constant drip, drip, drip of dissatisfaction, envy, and negativity that just slowly seeps into your soul over time.
So let's say you're listening to this and a name just popped into your head. You've identified a potential infector. What's the game plan? Well, this is where Green gets really, really hardcore. He doesn't say, try to talk to them or suggest therapy. No, his solution is one word, quarantine.
And his protocol for protection is brutally simple.
Step 1, don't argue. Just don't. Trying to reason with them is a trap. You'll just get tangled up in their world. Step 2, don't help. This is a tough one, but Green says they are who they are. They'll just drain you of all your energy, and you'll be the one who ends up a wreck. Which leads to the third and final step. Flee. Seriously. Get away. Remove yourself from their life or you will suffer the consequences.
Okay, that was all pretty bleak. But here's the good news. If misery is a virus, couldn't the opposite be true too? And that's exactly where Green goes next. Let's talk about the other side of this coin, the incredible power of association. See, this law cuts both ways. Just like the unhappy can pull you down into disaster, people who are genuinely happy and successful have their own infectious energy. They radiate good cheer, intelligence, and good fortune. So the strategy is simple. Choose to be around them. Deliberately expose yourself to that positive contagion.
And look, this isn't some new age self-help idea. Green points to the philosopher Baltasar Gracian, writing way back in the 1600s. The advice is literally timeless. You have to learn how to spot both types of people. It's not about being judgmental. It's about being strategic and protecting your own well-being.
And Gracian sums up the entire law in this one perfect line. It's so powerful. Think about this. Your life is your own. Don't let someone else's misery put out your fire.
So, where does that leave us? What's the final verdict on Law 10? What's the last word from Green on this really tough subject?
Well, here it is. With a lot of the other laws in his book, there are exceptions, clever ways to reverse them. Not this one. Green is crystal clear. There is no situation where it pays to hang around an infector. He says there is absolutely nothing to be gained, only loss, only disaster.
And that is the final powerful idea Green wants to burn into your brain. It's a really stark warning, isn't it? It forces you to take a hard look at the people in your life. So ask yourself, who is lifting you up and who might be quietly pulling you down? According to this law, that choice, who you let into your world, might just be the most important one you ever make.